Good morning, folks. Mobo Geezer out here again. This time with a camera comparison between the Moto G Stylus and the Xiaomi Mi A3. So this is the front cameras. Highest resolution is 1080p, 30 frames per second. So that's what that looks like. See if I can get my face in the sun a little bit for you. So we're going to turn these around and we're going to shoot some video on the rear cameras. Both will shoot rear at 1080p, 30 and 60, and both will shoot 4K. So let's turn them around and get started. So here we are shooting at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Kind of a beautiful day out here, about 81 degrees. Let's see if we can do a little zooming in here. And there's 6x zoom on the Mi A3. And there's 8x zoom on the Moto G Stylus. Bring it back to 6x zoom if I can. That's about there. That's what that looks like. Pan around a little bit. Zoom back out. So let's walk a little bit. Let you guys see what the stabilization is like. Let's run a little bit. Looks to me like the Moto G Stylus is much more stable. Of course, with us being, or not being on lockdown, but we're starting to come off lockdown. But some of the parks are open, but not everything is open yet. So let's take it for a little bit of a walk. You see what that looks like. So that's a quick look at 30 frames per second. I'm going to take it to 60 frames per second at 1080p. So here we are at 1080p, 60 frames per second. Let you guys see what that looks like a little bit. We'll walk with that a little bit. See if we can go over by the water here. Who knows, maybe we can find some ducks or cranes or whatever. So I'm going to shut this down now and go to 4K. So here we are shooting at 4K, 30 frames per second, which is the highest resolution on both cameras. See if we can zoom in a little bit once again. There's 6x zoom on the Mi A3. And that's about 6x zoom on the Moto G Stylus, but of course that'll go all the way to 8. That's what that looks like. Bring it back to 6. It looks like the Mi A3 is much clearer as far as I can tell. Zoom back out. Pan around a little bit. Take it for another little bit of a walk. fisherman out here enjoying himself. Got that iguana standing there as still as anything. If I can zoom in on him a little bit. Still at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Got one lonely duck walking out here all by himself. And here's our focus test at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Check it out on this tree. Both of them seem to be focusing pretty good as near as I can tell. You guys let me know how everything looks and sounds. Okay folks, back on the front cameras, 1080p, 30 frames per second. Did a little video at 1080p on the rear cameras at 30 and 60 frames per second, a little 4K. So, got a few pictures. So that'll be it for today. As always, comments are welcome. Thanks for watching.
Out.